Welcome back on board Butterfly Airways, your divine, safe portal for your transformation. We're here to help you to feel guided, held, and safe during your transformation. What most people do in their lives is hold on to versions of their reality based upon what's happened to them in the past. And it's how the mind works, it's how the mind protects us. It holds on to information and it stores it, and it makes us believe that we have to navigate everything from the outside as this ongoingly more fixed personality to deal with what has happened to us. So rather than something just happening to us as children and ongoingly, we don't just think, oh, that happened to me. We create an identity based upon what happened to us. And the mind stores this up and stores this up and stores this up until I describe it as a giant cocoon. The cocoon we've constructed over our lifetime. And depending upon your life and how you enjoy it or don't enjoy it, whether you're abundant or not, loved or not, will determine the way that you can perceive if your cocoon is negative and holding you back, or if it's positive and just protecting you and helping you. Ultimately, we're here to open our lower mind cocoon and live transcendent of a judging mind, which is why all the ancient spiritual masters will tell you to live in compassion and non-judgment. Easier said than done, of course. So humans are living in this state of seeing the world through their perceived reality based upon their experience. So it's like we're all living in our versions of reality. We're all living in our cocoons. And no wonder the world is in this flux that it's in right now. You could say that we're all in one giant cocoon at the moment. And we're rooted in reaction and judgment and a lot of negativity generally. And if we're not being negative, we're being overly positive, trying to get away from the negative. And this is a sort of duality that will never really solve the problem. So we're here to help you to transcend your lower mind cocoon and to see that you, like all humans, are on a journey of opening that cocoon. And we're here to help you do that safely and in a guided and held way. It's our experience and it's our mission to experience the world in the way of a kind of giant clockwork. You know, the world, the sun, the solar system is turning in repetitive cycles. I repeat this information every time you speak to me or hear me, because that's what we're in. We're in a giant repetitive cycle. And that giant repetitive cycle is here to wake us up. It's holding us. But once we experience the repetition and we become aware of the repetition, we can stop reacting to the things that are happening over and over to us. But we can observe them, and in observing them, we notice that they start to change. Does that make sense? So the cycles and the seasons and the moon cycles repeat and repeat and repeat. And our life's negative cycles repeat and repeat and repeat. So the art of becoming a butterfly is in realizing my negative cycles are repeating because I'm attached to them. So instead of attaching to them, if I attach to the bigger picture, if I attach to the solar cycles and the moon cycles and I listen to their subtle messages, which we're guiding you with as you remember what those are. We're informing you what those are so you can learn to listen within. But through listening through our monthly journeys, you can say, oh, that makes sense. Eventually, over time, your body will wake up to this within yourself. You won't need Butterfly Airways because you'll be a butterfly. So as you release your negative version, and why does this always happen to me? Or why can't this happen to me? You go, or maybe I'm just stuck in a pattern, in a holding pattern. And maybe if I hold on instead to the cycles of the solar and the lunar and the galaxy, and I put my attention there and say, well, I don't know if this thing is always going to happen to me. Maybe it's not if I don't fixate on it. The nature of reality is it is what we think about and it is what we focus on. So we're inviting you every moon to focus on something more nourishing, something more natural, something more amazing. So there's this much, 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 much bigger picture going on while we're looking through our little mirror going, why is this happening to me? It's not happening to the next person and the next person, it's happening to me. Of course, there are certain cultural, societal, gender-based things that are happening to us all that are similar. But that's because that's also our belief system. We believe that a man will do this. We believe that a woman will do this. And therefore, we create that repetitive cycle as a collective, not just as an individual. So again, we're inviting you to let go of societal patterns, cultural patterns, familial patterns, your own personal patterns, and say, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that would always happen to me, if I didn't keep banging on about it and being negative and holding on to it. So we're inviting you to put all that baggage in the hold, not with you in this beautiful body of yours, to invite you to empty your mind, to open your mind, and to focus instead on the cycles of nature. Now, I just want to read a few facts for you, so excuse me clicking on my screen. Do you know the speed at which we're actually travelling in the solar system? You think we're standing still, don't you? I mean, I'm sure you remember from school learning about in geography, whatever class it might have been, that the planet isn't still and that it's spinning. But for example, the speed of the solar system as a whole, so all of us planets going around the sun, the speed of the solar system around the galactic centre is about 230 kilometres per second. So if you only include that as how far you're travelling every year, that's 7.26 billion kilometres per year you're travelling. So when we talk about Butterfly Airways, we're saying we as humans are cycling around time every year, and we don't even pay attention to that. We don't even notice that because we're spinning around in our own version of reality cycle in our head. So do you see what we're inviting to? Sorry, my little dog is faffing around with this curtain and moving it. I apologise. Sit still, BB. Sit still now. It's still. He's been lying still all morning, of course, now. He's scratching. So we're travelling per year in the solar system 7.26 billion kilometres. Earth itself, just going around the sun, is also travelling 584 million miles a year, 940 million kilometres a year. And that's without us even thinking about how fast we're spinning round every day. So what I'm saying to you in this video today is there's a lot more going on that your eyes can't perceive and your physical senses can't perceive that. Why not? Why can't we see this bigger picture? Is that designed so that we get caught up in our little picture? And is that what the spiritual masters call waking up? Waking up from the microcosm to the macrocosm? Waking up from the caterpillar in the cocoon to the butterfly, initially in the cocoon, realizing, oh my God, I'm so much more than this. I'm so much more than this. Is that what waking up is? That's what we're suggesting to you. So as we wake up and we realize we're in this cocoon and we're traveling around the solar system, we're traveling around the sun, and the moon's traveling around us, and there's all these incredible energies going on. It's a lot to take in. And I know that the first time I realized it and saw these cycles of times in 2008, that it was a lot. It was a lot for me to handle, a lot for me to take in. So it is a lot. And we can just prefer to just get on with daily life and think, I don't need to know that. Why would I need to know that? Well, we need to know that because life's more beautiful than we think. It's so much more beautiful. Excuse the animals. Life's so much more beautiful than our little version. Our microcosm. It's so much more beautiful than a caterpillar human stuck in a negative life, doing a job it doesn't like doing, not having enough money, having a relationship that isn't good enough. And I'm not saying you can snap your fingers and think, oh, we're traveling around the sun so many times, so many kilometers a year. My life must be okay then. I'm not saying that. I'm inviting you to the fact that maybe there's a flight path out of here. Maybe there is a design of the universe that actually is trying to show us how to sit back into the bigger picture and to awaken into a beautiful life that includes us as an individual and a unique being. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? It's a lot to take in that life could be that good. We are very used to believing that life can be that bad and that things go wrong and humans are bad and society's bad and violence is bad and racism is bad, and we can believe that. But what about believing that actually it could be amazing and it requires humans waking up? What about believing that actually it's beautiful and it requires the human mind to wake up to it? Because animals don't typically, unless they're around humans and then they get traumatized, animals don't typically get caught in negative cycles. And they are really, really not like that unless they're close to humans that are perhaps unkind to them. Animals are intuitive. They know when it's full moon. They know when it's new moon. They know when it's going to rain. They know when there's a tsunami. They react and they sense energy. And we don't. And that's why we don't know how beautiful it is. So, a lot to take in. And I will repeat this information many times. Having worked with people in transformation and transforming myself for the last 12 years, one of the most powerful lessons, I guess, that I've learned and that I share with my clients is that if our human minds are naturally rooted in negativity, and I refer to negativity not just about, negative thoughts, but just hardwired ways of thinking, like this is this and that is that. To me, that's negative because it's very dense, and the mind in that way of working is what I describe as the cocoon. And if the cocoon is the mind fixed on what it believes, and the butterfly is the human being open and available to life being more, then how do you get your mind from this to, wow, life's guiding me, life's holding me, life's showing me, I'm on an adventure, it's beautiful. How do you get from this to this? That's what we're inviting you onto this moon. And it's actually quite a basic exercise that I'm inviting you to this moon. It's quite simple, but it's going to require you looking at it during this month and implementing some exercises into your life. Say, for example, you're planting a seed You need to put it in good soil. You're going to have to water it. And then it's going to start, before much else happens, it starts growing roots first of all. And that's what we're going to talk to you about this time, is if you want to transform above ground in your everyday life, you need to look at what's underground first of all, metaphorically speaking. So we're going to have a look at what you're rooted in. Are you rooted in negative, repetitive patterns? Or are you rooted in a daily routine that I spell ROOT that enables you to open your mind to the goodness that is life and to become intuitive and guided and held and amazed? So in a very simple way, I'm going to ask you during this month to think about yourself as a natural being, grounded and rooted to planet Earth. So if planet Earth, let me remind myself, is traveling 584 miles, 940 million kilometers a year around the sun, would it be a very, very good idea and kind of a logical suggestion to be very rooted in this planet? How many humans are rooted into planet Earth, eating what comes naturally from planet Earth, drinking the water that is in our system? How many people are rooted in the moon cycles, rooted in the natural seasons and not just working 24/7 all year round? How many people are taking time out every day to appreciate the beauty of nature, to tune into the subtle changes of the seasons? If we're traveling at this speed on this planet, is it not the best idea to get in harmony with Mother Earth and what she's doing and where she's going as a priority? So we might be flipping your brain a little bit. That's what we're here to do. We're flying you up, giving you a higher perspective, and then helping you land into your true self, into your true nature. And it takes a little bit of flying and then a little bit of grounding and a little bit of flying and a little bit of grounding. So get on with it, Julie. We want you to feel safe and guided and held. And we're going to say this over and over again. And the planet is changing at the moment. The way I see it and the way I sense it, and I'm not alone in this by any stretch of the imagination, we've arrived in a different part of the galactic space that is space. We're not where we were. And I describe that as a little bit like going from Birmingham in England and landing in Turkey, for example. If you went on a journey from Birmingham to Istanbul, everything's going to be different. It's going to smell different, look different, different currency, different language. And that's what's happening to Earth. Think about Earth, radical me, as a plane traveling through the universe in repetitive cycles, around and around, but actually traveling without us knowing it into another place. From Birmingham, metaphorically speaking, to Turkey. So this is why, and I love this English word, we are feeling discombobulated. Our bodies aren't functioning the same. Our minds aren't functioning the same. Things are getting to feel more fixed, more dense. Because where we are now on our journey, we're meant to be opening our cocoons and realizing we're in a different space, we're in a different energy. We're in Turkey as opposed to Birmingham. That's why all humans are going through such a hard time now. So to give your power away and ever think anyone else is in control, bigger than nature, it's naive. It's understandable that you would think that, but it's naive when you think about how powerful nature is. And when you start realizing how fast we're traveling and where we're traveling and what's going on around us. So back to it, Julie. I want you to think of 8 headings of activities or exercises, things that you love that ground you. Things like This could be something like, it doesn't have to all be about exercise, but exercise is very, very grounding. For example, people that run or jog or walk will say it just gives them endorphins. It makes them feel present. It makes them feel like they can make better decisions. They're out of their head and they're in their body and they're in their feet. So it could be something like exercise. Exercise could be a heading, one of the 8. Or you could split exercise up into, well, walking I love, that's 1 heading. Yoga I love, that's 2. Jogging I love, that's 3. Going to the gym is 4. It's up to you how you create these headings, and you'll probably take a little while to get these right as well. So don't worry about how long this is going to take. So I've written a few things down here to give you an idea. Exercise, singing, eating well, drawing, walking, reading, yoga, meditation, organising, cleaning, gardening, sewing. I'm thinking of a few more now. Do you see the sort of things that I'm talking about? And I call these routines, ROOTINE. These are things that ground you, they're things that sustain you, they're things that nourish you, and they're things that open your mind, because you're not sitting in a negative judgmental way or working hard or thinking, when will this be over? You're working on something that would actually shift you. And I'm suggesting to you as well, while we're traveling these 584 million miles a year, that it's a really good idea, because it will slow you down and make you more grateful and present for what you have. And of all the times in human existence where that is necessary, it's now. Now, you could do, I'm suggesting that you do at least 3 of these things a day for the next 30 days. And they could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It doesn't matter. I suggest, if this is something you're not used to doing and you have a lot of resistance to it, if you have a lot of cocoon, I suggest you release resistance and say, well, just do 5-minute walk. There is a massive, massive power in saying to your mind, I'm only going to do it for 5 minutes. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with 5 minutes, have my lunch, go for a 5-minute walk, or a 5-minute yoga practice. And believe me, you can do a 5-minute yoga practice, or a 5-minute meditation, or a 5-minute organise a cupboard or a drawer. How good does it feel when you organise a drawer? So I want you to pick 10 headings, write them down, and then I want you to pick 3 every day for the next 30 days. And we're going to talk about that together. This is a moon where this is really, really important. It's really, really important that we have our feet on the ground. And you're going to only fully understand what I'm saying if and when you follow this practice of grounding. You're only going to get what it does to the mind by doing it. You're not going to get it by saying that won't work. Well, you're absolutely right if you don't try it. But if you're only going to get the benefit if you do it. The earth is spinning, the solar system's spinning, we're in a new energy, we're in a new space. I mean, I've been saying this for 10 years, but I think it's clear now that they're starting to sense something's different. They're blaming governments and they're blaming the finances and the economy, but that's getting bad, and humans are acting badly because we don't function in the old way anymore. It isn't why the world's in a state. It's we can't blame the people. It's the state of mind we're in that's causing people to do those things, because people don't realise. So waking up is about sitting back and recognising that we're more than this. We're so much more, so much more than this. If I can, I want to read you another little quote and then leave you to your exercises. And I suggest that you also watch the previous month's moon video often. The art of repeating listening it's a really powerful tool, because nature's repeating for a reason. we need to repeat what we watch. We need to repeat and repeat and repeat and listen to this video more as well. So let me read this with my glasses on for you. This is actually something that the Mayan people said about this time on Earth. The Mayan people call this the time of no time. And I believe what they're saying there, it's the time of like just aligning with the rhythms. It's not about our time and our agenda, whilst we've got rent to pay, etc. We've still got to do those things, but we're preparing for big, big change. So the Mayan people call this the time of no time. From here on, we're on Earth time. Mother Earth is shaking to her core. The cocoon is opening. It's a time of madness, disconnection, and hyper-individualism. It's also a time when new energies are coming into the world. Now, I believe that means the world is in a new energy. When people are growing a new skin, now I believe that means that we're becoming more receptive to the energies. So it's like we're becoming porous, if you like. This may sound trippy to some of you. It won't over the years to come. The Mayan vision says that we in the West will find safe harbour only if we can journey past a wall of mirrors. And this is about seeing the outside world. And if you just react to the outside world, it's like you're just blaming the mirror. We have to clean from the inside, connect from the inside, and then we won't see what we see in the world in the same way. The mirrors will surely drive us mad unless we have a strong heart. Some mirrors delude us with an infinity of reflections of vanity and shadows. Others paralyze us with our terror and rage, feeding an empire that manufactures our fear into resignation. But the empire has no roots, and it's falling all around us. In this time, everyone is called to take a stand, be in your roots. Everyone is called to be a leader. Be in your intuition, be individual, be your essence. To go beyond the wall of mirrors, the final challenge is to pass through a tiny door. To do this, we must make ourselves very, very small, which means to go inside. To not blame the world, not chase things after the world. To be grateful and humble. Then we must burrow down into the earth, where indigenous consciousness lives. And what I feel this to mean is reconnect to earth through our feet, through our presence, through our roots. On the other side is a clear pond. There, for the first time, we'll be able to see our true reflection. Now, whether or not this all makes complete sense to you, maybe it wobbles you and you think, wow, this feels sense to me. Whatever level you're at, work on some roots this month. Whether or not you believe in all of that, probably you do because you've joined the airways, so you're open and you're looking for more and you feel more and you don't understand the world. No matter what, if I invite you to do the rooting practice, no matter what you want from life, what you believe from life, this will help you no matter what. So yeah, bit longer video this time. You're now going to listen to a voiceover that we've created over the last moon. I've been in a professional studio for the first time, really found my bliss talking into a professional microphone. Amazing, amazing, really felt like time stopped for me as soon as I started to speak. So I hope you enjoy this that's coming now, and some beautiful imagery from Gabrielle. There's lots more to come. The voiceover and the imagery you're about to see, that section of this video will also be free on YouTube. So we'll send you a link so that you can share that with everybody. Over these coming moons and seasons, we'll be creating a lot of free content for YouTube to spread this message, to invite whoever wants to subscribe to Patreon, to go and step deeper like we are. But we know that we want to get this message out there. So please be free to share that video when you receive it. And yeah, enjoy this beautiful plane that we're on. We'll talk more in coming times about the levels of the planes of reality. So we're perhaps on this like linear plane at the moment, but the plane of reality that we live on opens and opens and gets higher and more beautiful the more we open this. And we'll talk about that soon. So 10 headings of things that root you, and ask questions in the Patreon community about those. These things must open you, sustain you, nourish you, ground you. It's not Netflix, it's not television, it's not having a glass of wine on a Friday, and it's not Zooming your girlfriend. That's stimulating, or you just go unconscious. It's not grounding. Grounding means to feel, oh, wow, feel great. Why was I worrying about things? 10 headings, 3 a day, 5 minutes minimum, and see if you can design a few routines for yourself. And we'll jump into this during this month, and we'll get to talk about it more in the community. I'm so grateful to you. We are so grateful. We are a growing community. We're a growing team of light attendants. If you have information you want to share with other butterflies, I welcome you to discuss with us what you want to share. We are open, with open hearts and arms, to collaborate. Everything that raises the consciousness, that expresses our own individual truth, is what the airways are all about. So I bid you and your new wings, your new unfurling wings, a big, big hug, massive kiss, and I'll see you very, very soon. Happy flying.